Exit should scare Democrats. Senator, good morning. It's good to see you. You write that Flake's retirement is deeply troubling to me because he represents a principled and patriotic Republican Party. What trend do you see right now in the Senate? We mentioned Senator Inhofe saying yesterday that maybe this should be the trend, that if you don't agree with Donald Trump, don't let the door hit you on the way out, talking about Jeff Flake and Bob Corker.
Well, I serve on the Foreign Relations Committee with Senator Flake and Senator Corker. And although we disagree on a very wide range of things, Senator Flake is a Western Republican, a conservative. We're from different faiths, from different states, from different value frames. We have served very well together on the Foreign Relations Committee because we share a commitment to America's role in the world as a country that leads the global fight for freedom. That leads based on our commitment to open societies, to free press, to human rights, not just our narrow national self-interests. And I think Senator Flake saw clearly the threat to that position that Donald Trump's international policies present. And that made it harder and harder for him to be successful in a primary campaign in Arizona. If the voices of Chairman Corker and Senator Flake are missing from the other side of the dais in the Foreign Relations Committee, and if, as Senator Inhofe is saying, only those who are blindly loyal to President Trump should continue to serve as Republicans in the Senate, then I'm gravely concerned about what that says for America remaining the beacon of freedom in the world.
Yeah, Senator Flake was pretty honest on this show yesterday when we asked him why he was doing this. Why not stick around and fight Donald Trump if this is the way you feel? And he said plainly, I can't win. You know, I can't win this primary fight inside the state of Arizona. Do you view that, on the other hand, though, Senator Coons, as an opportunity for Democrats? Maybe a Democrat can win the seat in Arizona. Potentially a Democrat could win a seat in Tennessee. If Steve Bannon and that wing of the party wants to primary every Republican senator except for Ted Cruz, isn't that good for you and the Democrats?
Well, it's good in a narrow sense. I mean, that's right. My election to the Senate was certainly facilitated by a divisive primary in the Delaware Republican Party that led them to choose a candidate for the general election who wasn't very competitive. And I'm good friends with Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema, who will be, I think, the Democratic candidate in Arizona and would make a great senator. But exactly the point of my piece is that we shouldn't be celebrating just the narrow partisan victory of gaining one seat or losing one seat in the Senate. We should be looking at this, Democrats and Republicans, as patriots and asking whether what Jeff Flake has been saying about our president isn't true, and something that calls us to action and to work together in a way that strengthens the role of the Senate going forward.
Senator, good morning. Harold Ford. Let's turn to issues for one moment, two of them. How are things going with negotiations between Cardin and Corker around Iran? And two, we just had Keir Simmons on in South Korea, awaiting General Mattis's visit and anticipating President Trump next week. Where do you stand there now, and what's your thinking about diplomacy? And we're getting reports that it's failing on the North Korea part.
Well, Harold, I am very concerned about the ways that the president has undermined his Secretary of State, Secretary Rex Tillerson, and made it harder and harder to pursue diplomacy with North Korea by engaging in a personal barrage of attacks on Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. I do think that there are ongoing negotiations, conversations really, between Chairman Corker and Ranking Member Cardin on the Foreign Relations Committee about our path forward. Now that President Trump has decertified a part of the JCPOA under a statute we have, it's started off a period of 60 days where we're going to be looking hard in the Senate at what else we could be doing to rein in Iran's bad behavior in the region. I oppose renegotiating, reopening the JCPOA. All of our European allies have communicated to us that they won't welcome that, they won't participate in that. But I'm clear-eyed about the real threat that Iran poses to our interests, to our vital ally Israel, to the human rights of their own people, and to the security of the region by supporting terrorism. We've given President Trump strong tools when the Senate, by a vote of 98-2, passed a new sanctions law. And the president hasn't yet taken that up to impose sanctions against Russia or to use it as strongly as I think he should against Iran. I think you'll see some bipartisan work in supporting and strengthening our multilateral actions against Iran. I think we will save the JCPOA, and I think that will help support diplomacy against North Korea.
Senator Chris Coons, thank you very, very much for being on the show this morning. Coming up, Joe Biden is sending new signals on 2020. We'll talk to the magazine editor who spoke with the former vice president. Morning Joe is coming right back.